You want to bring her? Hello, good morning to everyone. Today we are testing something new. Happy Sunday to those of you who are just joining me live. And I'm going to be playing certain things because there are few news that I saw yesterday or early this morning. And I decided I'm going to talk about what I see, my observations, and let's see how this all works out. I'm just trying something new. Today is Sunday. And the basic reason is because I felt that I don't want to talk much about religion this Sunday, specifically because of no reason. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but there are certain aspects that we have to think about and then make decisions of what to do. But my mind is just like, there are a few things that I've seen this morning. Let me talk about those things that I see, and maybe we can all think about it, and everyone can make their comments if they love to. So join me as I play certain things out to you guys. So let's go. First of all,
what you say? What are you doing? Just carry on. Stacy, I have the belief that you may be in possession of drug. Oh, yes, I got the belief that you may be in possession of drug. Are you even an officer? Stop being rude and just listen to it. That's why I want to search you. What's your name first before you search? Man? I want to search you under section 23. Yeah, 23, can I have your name, please? Say caller number, Mike. My caller number is 08387. 08387. Where are you based? I'm down Lonside Police Station. And what do you want to do search, man? I have the reason to believe that you may be in possession of drugs.
First of all, they don't have to tell you that this individual is a Nigerian man. He's actually Nigerian and he's in the UK. I think he's in the UK. And he's been trained to know how to approach people there. Now, in Nigeria, yeah, it's not difficult for you to blend in and, to practice on how you ask people questions. But over there, because of colors, this is not about anyone saying anything racist, but because of colors and the way they look at white people to be supreme over everything, you can see the fear within his mind and how he's operating and how he's living under fear. So I ask myself a question: why would this individual go and make a decision he wants to start approaching white people or the, do we call it the UK or whatever, citizens over there? I don't know why. Because at the end of the day, he won't be able to function. And most of these people there, they understand the laws better than he does. And if care is not taken, you that tend to be the law enforcer might end up in jail. And the fear is already inside of him. Maybe practice make perfect. I don't know about that, but I believe that possibility something good can happen. But in my observation, if it was my uncle, I wouldn't have advised him. So let's just go to the second one and see how that one plays out.
Say that a 41-year-old man is disqualified because of his pants.
You're 41?
I'll be 41 in September.
Okay, because I was like, I thought you said 40.
I'll be 41 in September. That's coming up.
I like it. It's okay for you. It's not my style. With everything going on, I like the pants to be a little baggy, that's all.
Where you from, love?
Kansas City.
Kansas City?
Yeah.
Okay. How long you been out here?
2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Why did you end up popping your balloon for Brian?
Hey, Brian. I love the way you speak, but for me, it was the pants. I don't like the pants too tight. I'm kind of ghetto, too, so I like them a little loose, and that was just it for me.
Okay. How old are you?
34.
34? Mm-hmm. How many kids you got?
I got 3.
You got 3?
Yep.
How many baby daddies?
I have 3.
You got 3 baby daddies. Okay.
I should have said 0. Because it's just me.
You gonna lie to the public?
No, I have 3, but it's just me. I'm a single parent. Okay. There's no man in my life.
Okay. No man in your life?
Nope.
Why is the reason for there no man in your life?
Well, my first child, his father passed away, and the other 2 are nowhere to be found. So, what can you do?
They do you like that? What's wrong with them?
Something. Only God knows.
Or is there something wrong with you?
Possibly, but I think I'm just fine.
I think you're just fine as well.
Thank you.
Right. But to say that a 41-year-old man is disqualified because of his pants,
You're 41?
I'll be 41 in September.
Okay, because I was like, I thought you said 40.
I'll be 41 in September. That's coming up.
I like it. It's okay for you. It's not my style. You know, with everything going on, I like the pants to be a little baggy, that's all.
Where you from, love?
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Yeah.
Okay. How long you been out here?
2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Blood of God. What kind of experience do we think this is? Well, obviously, we should be in the US. Looking at them, I think it should be in the US because of their language or the way they express themselves. It shows they are from US. But can we wrap our head around what this lady is actually talking about? Looking at a man, a grown-up man, I don't know if the way he dress looks very responsible to her, but I think he's okay. And for her to say that the reason why she popped a balloon, because this particular thing has been going on for a while now, that you see people pop their balloon and they say they are searching. And I'm just like, what investment are people actually making? Do you think you're just going to go to a show and randomly see somebody and the person is there to search for a man or a woman? And then if you don't like that person, you pop the balloon, and that's how you're going to get a reasonable husband or a reasonable wife or have a standard or sensible relationship. I don't see that actually happening. I think it's just a show for unserious people. And so for you to have the mentality to go to such a show, I wouldn't be surprised if she makes a decision to pop a balloon because a guy is not tightening his or over tight his belt and is not saggy, acting like guys from the hood. So she's attracted to the kind of people she's attracted to, and those people have been part of the things that are disappointing her life in the past. But she has not been able to most likely reflect on herself and say, maybe the choices I'm making is the reason why I keep repeating the same circle. And you can see how the conversation went. So I don't know what the Western culture is about. My perception at this particular time, due to the conversations I have, is that the negative things about the Western people is what they bring mostly to the social public. And maybe YouTube actually promotes things like this. Maybe social media actually promotes things like this because people pay attention to things like this. I don't know. But why can't we, as blacks, if we're blacks over there, why don't we find good things to be able to promote, like educated and logical people coming to shows? These are just like random, illogical people. And it seems as if people that are being irrational in their thoughts or not thinking properly, they easily get this attention. And so people kind of gravitate. When you're holding shows, you just look for people who can think deep about their life, or who are just loose set of people. And I don't know if I'm saying too much about the lady, because people hate when you criticize people. But for me, I think this particular stuff doesn't make sense, and our view is totally, in my opinion, wrong. So let's move to the next one and see what today holds.
If you're dating a young girl and she's passing the night at your place, just know that she's loosed and she is from a useless family. Very simple. Just know she's loosed and she does not have a father or a mother that she respects. It's as simple. I've told you that how you keep your relationship, that is how likely your marriage is going to look. There are no two ways about it. It simply means her father is a weak man and her mother is in charge of the house. Her mother is the commander general. There is no sane man that will allow his daughter to spend the night outside in a man's house. There is no man that is sane that will allow his daughter to spend a night in a man's house, unless you people have dated a while and you have their permission. But if the person is young and she's spending the night at your place,
Well, I think according to what she says, one way, 80% or 70%, I'm going to agree with her. But there's a part that you need to think when you are saying things like that, which is, why should you be dating someone um who is not of age to be dating or to be courting, or for you guys to be able to live together? Now that means you most likely might be just a young girl who is falling in love. And maybe that is where she's actually pointing out to, that maybe if a lady is kind of young and she's dating somebody, and the person she's actually dating, she has to stay in the person's house, and this lady is still under her parents, and the guy has not been able to do the right things he's supposed to do, knowing her parent and the rest of it. Maybe it's wrong. Yes, it is in certain sense, but all situations are kind of different. But she's right on one part, saying that if the family are in order, and this is from the African perspective, if the families are in order, then this lady should be scared of her parents. She should have a little bit of fear and respect and regard for her family. But if her parents give her those room, like you can go anywhere and go sleep with any guy, or you can go out and the next day you're just coming back in the morning, then it simply shows that you're going to a family who they do not have regard. And I think that is a signal for the guy. And maybe I think a message is actually going to the guys who wants to date ladies like that. You have to be careful of the kind of lady you want to date. Look at her family, because the family of a lady determines the person you are going to spend the rest of your life with. And one of the biggest choice a man can ever make in his life is the woman he brings into his life. So that's how I see what she says. Is there any agreement or disagreement on it? You can make your comment. You're always welcome. I would always look at every comment, and probably next time I can always, have conversations with you. If you think otherwise, we might even have to get a show. We talk about some of our views on this. So let's move to the next one while we round up.
Okay, people that have moved abroad in the last 3 years, I want to ask you a genuine question. When you go to sleep in the night, do you dream about the country that you have moved to, or you dream about your home country that you're coming from? Because I've moved abroad in the last 3 years. So in the last 3 years, I've moved from Nigeria and I'm in the UK. But never have I dreamt about the UK. If I go back in the night to go and sleep, I dream about Nigeria. So I'm asking myself, I have moved abroad, and my subconscious has not realized that I have moved abroad. Why am I expecting my dream to move abroad? Because I have moved abroad and my dream has refused to move abroad. I still see myself in Nigeria. So I asked my friends, where do you see yourself when you dream? Some of them still say they still see themselves in their home country. So I want to ask people that are abroad before us, answer this question. When are we expecting our dream to join us abroad, or should we start praying? Like, is it a prayer point? I just genuinely want to know. Is it a prayer point? Okay, people that have moved up.
Okay. On this particular aspect that this lady touched on, saying that people who are abroad, if you have left Nigeria, or if you have left your home country and you move to a different country, why is it that you still have dreams in the previous country or from your original country? Now, your life begins somewhere, and the work of your memory or of your brain is to keep a lot of memory. And in fact, everything that has to do with your future comes from your past. And whenever we dream, we go two ways. We are either moving to the future or we are moving to the past. But most of the time, we have certain unresolved things in our mind, unresolved issues in our mind. Just because you find yourself in an environment that tends to be different, that looks very beautiful, that doesn't mean that you have resolved all the issues in your past. Just because your physical body lives somewhere doesn't mean that your mind is not back to where it actually originally started from. And so you may call it subconscious, but I think that every time we think as humans or we dream, at least as a grown-up person, your brain is going to go towards maybe 10 years back, 20 years back, and you're going to be having those kind of thoughts from where you actually came, because you actually did engage with people really in your home country before you traveled out of the country. If you were a baby or a child when you were being moved to another country, you most likely would think about the things there, because that's where you're going to get your friends. That's where your dream is going to be meant to be. That's where your vision, your future, the teachings, everything you're going to attach yourself with comes from that particular environment. But when you're talking about you're already a grown-up person in Nigeria, so your roots and the experience you already have with your life goes the same way with you. In fact, sometimes I want to see my future. It has to link me to certain things that has to do with my past. Sometimes you have to see your mom. You want to have a message. Maybe your mom is late or the rest of it. She has to appear and you're going to see her in the same house you guys used to stay, because that is the only way you can identify the communication. Because if your dream kind of have things of just new in a new environment, you most likely will get freaked out and you might not get the message. But if it links you back to something that you identify with in the past, it is easy for you to be able to say, okay, this particular person in my past brought this message to me. What is this message about? Comparing it to where my life is right now. There's a way you can link your presence with your past to identify your future, but you cannot link your presence and your future to identify your future. You are only going to get horrified by the dreams you have. I don't know if that is going to make sense, because your future is something that you're not aware of. You don't really know. Yes, you may have a dream, but you really don't know your future. But if you are having dream about people that you have never seen in your entire life before, and they are sending you messages and you don't know those people, it is your brain would not be able to process it very well. But if your brain can pick part of the random faces you have actually met with in your life, and you identify those people and it passes a message to you, you can hold on to that message. Even when you see that person, you can identify that person. But seeing somebody in the future, I know there are different cases where people see someone who they later met the person in life. Maybe they've seen that person in their dream. Yes, there are cases like that, but most likely your mind actually tries to work with things in your past to identify the things in your future, not the things in your future with the present, because it is going to be scary because you don't identify any of them, even if you have the dream. So that's my take on that. And the last one.
And then the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Months old, and if you want to really see something to say, take a look what happened.
I'm not in the US, so I have no comments. This is what the politics over there is all about. I have no comments. There's nothing I want to say about this. I wish the US prosperity in whatever they make a decision to do, because when it comes to our country as Africans, we know what we experience when we go against maybe government, or when we talk about politics and the rest of it. That doesn't mean we are scared. That doesn't mean we are afraid of anything. But it is what it is. Politics tends to be things that tend to appear to be a game. And in that game, lives are not taken serious. Some lives are being overly protected and some lives go. So you have to be aware that, do you have the right resources to be able to survive the chaos of that kind of game? Because it is a real game that is just about manipulation and one getting victory even the ones they don't deserve. So for Donald Trump, I don't have any comments. I just think that maybe God protect him. And in politics, sometimes this is what I saw. First of all, I felt the whole stuff is true. In the other way, my mind is like, what if somebody set it up just for it to look as if it was being shot at? The reason is because politics is politics. It's a dirty game. But at the end of the day, this looks a little bit real. But with the way they've gone after him in the past, trying to put him in jail, trying to make his life hell and the rest of it, I don't know why they should go this extreme if it is real. And that's just my take on it. I have no much comment on the US because I think they are more intelligent to identify the truth better than we, the Africans. With that being said, I come to the end of today's show, just giving it a real thought. Have a blessed day. I will be joining later and we discuss few things on maybe certain things about religion, maybe certain things about observation on Sundays. We are going to talk about some of these things later today. So have a blessed day. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to my channel, like and share. See you in the next one. Adios, amigos. Thanks for joining me. Bye bye.